Have you ever wondered how, like, 100-year-old wooden violin is supposed to sound like a gritty Detroit techno warehouse or a NASA spacewalk?
I mean, it sounds like a complete contradiction, right?
Right.
But that is exactly what modern American composers are forcing the traditional orchestra to figure out today.
Yeah.
They are taking acoustic instruments and, well, making them speak a totally 21st century language.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, you and I are unpacking a really groundbreaking playbill from Symphonicity. It's an upcoming concert called The B-Sides, and it exclusively features entirely living, all-American composers.
Right, real breathing music of our current moment.
Exactly. So let's talk about this techno orchestra concept. How does a symphony, actually play electronic music?
Well, let's look at Mason Bates' piece, which is literally titled The B-Sides. Bates doesn't just, plug in a synthesizer and call it a day.
Right, that would be too easy.
Oh, absolutely. Instead, he uses the acoustic orchestra to actually mimic electronic circuitry. The strings and the percussion play these highly repetitive, syncopated rhythms.
Like imitating a digital sequencer.
Exactly like that. While actual audio recordings from the Gemini C spacewalk are just woven right into the texture, he is proving that the orchestra can physically absorb our modern sonic environment.
Wow. It creates this massive, almost sci-fi epic in your mind. Like you start out floating completely alone in a vast galaxy, and then you just crash land straight into a thumping underground club.
Yeah. And composers are actually using the physical architecture of the concert hall itself to create that feeling of a vast galaxy.
Wait, how do they do that?
Take John Adams' piece on this program, Trumbull-Montana. He literally removes the solo trumpeters from the stage and places them far apart in the hall.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so by separating the sound sources, your brain processes the slight acoustic delays and echoes.
Right.
Which gives you this visceral, physical sensation of immense moonlit distance.
So we're moving from physical space with Adams directly into digital space with Bates. And then Daniel Pertu's piece, Phoenix, takes all that kinetic energy and transforms it into myth.
Right, the ancient firebird burning up and being reborn.
It's a huge, sweeping macro journey.
Yeah.
Looking at the rest of this playbill, I really have to push back on the programming here.
Really? How so?
Well, we go from spacewalks and techno right into deeply intimate vocal lullabies. I mean, doesn't throwing a heartbreak ballad and a literal bedtime story next to a techno orchestra cause like massive emotional whiplash for the audience?
I can see why you'd think that.
Yeah, like why put them together?
Because it mirrors the reality of how you and I live right now. Think about it. Mm-hmm. We carry supercomputers in our pockets. We stream rocket launches live while standing in line for coffee.
True.
But at the end of the day, we still experience ancient, profound grief. We still whisper our kids to sleep. The whiplash is just the unpredictable diversity of the modern American experience.
That makes a lot of sense. And that actually frames the guest artist perfectly. For this massive shift in scale, Symphonicity is bringing in soprano Andrea Booth.
She is incredible.
An educator with a massive affinity for contemporary music. And there's a super interesting dynamic here, too. She's actually married to the conductor for this concert, Daniel W. Booth.
Which really adds a vital layer to that intimacy we were just talking about.
Oh, definitely.
When she performs John Mackey's songs from the end of the world, she is singing from the perspective of the nymph Calypso. She's capturing this devastating, eternal loneliness after losing Odysseus.
Wow.
Yeah, and to convey that completely unprotected level of grief over a massive orchestra well, that requires profound trust between the soloist and the conductor.
I can't even imagine. And then she closes the entire show with Eric Whitacre's Goodnight Moon, which, yes, is based on the classic 1947 children's book.
Right, but Whitacre doesn't just write a simple nursery melody for it.
No, not at all. He uses dense, close harmonies in the orchestra to create this thick blanket of sound. It mechanically mimics that heavy, eyelids drooping feeling of falling asleep.
It strips away all the circuitry and the cosmic scale we heard earlier. You're left with just a single voice and a bedside ritual. It's the ultimate contrast.
A seamless flow from circuitry to myth to lullaby. It really proves that the symphony isn't a museum for the past. I mean, it's a mirror for right now.
Exactly, a perfect reflection.
Which leaves you with an interesting question to chew on. If this all-living, all-American program reflects exactly who we are today, what will the B-sides of the next century sound like when today's experimental spacewalk tracks become tomorrow's traditional classics?
This podcast was produced by Symphonicity, the Symphony Orchestra of Virginia Beach, Virginia. To get tickets or to learn more about their concerts and events, visit symphonicity.org.